So I got the new Colt model number O1911SE-A1, which is the Colt 1911 government model Series 70, just upgraded a bit. So in front of me I have three 1911s to just show you some of the upgrades and differences. So here, this is actually a replica. This isn't a real 1911, but it articulates. It's actually very, very nice replica. It's the same weight as a real 1911. It's all metal. Does everything a 1911 would do. Of course, it doesn't shoot because it's not real. But the idea is it's a model of the original, 1940s, World War II, 1911. And you can tell by the GI, the short safety here, the trigger has just this small trigger. And so we're going to use this as a comparison just to show you some differences. Again, see the safety here, the very small trigger, and the serrations that go vertically. And just to compare it to a modern 1911, and this is a Kimber Custom. Make sure it's empty. So this is a Kimber Custom. This is a real 1911. Serrated trigger there. You got the dovetail. So you got to push this in for the safety. The serrations tilt forward a little bit. In the original model, you'll notice that this trigger back here, or the safety, on the more modern 1911s, they're a little bit larger. And a couple other things. So you got this dovetail on the back here. The original 1911, it came down, and this is a, what's the name of the trigger? I forget what they called it, but there's a different trigger when you have a dovetail, because it can't come down like that. So let's take a look at the actual real Colt. As you can see, the fake one, that's an exact replica of the original government model, looks very much like the newer limited edition that I have here. And a limited edition, there's a cool story behind it. I don't know if it's true, but I like the stories that they found about 5,000 original slides. And so they made this original edition with the, modeled after the original government. And one of the cool things, you see that black barrel right there? You don't typically see the blue barrel. Here's the newer Kimber. And you got that chrome barrel. Well, in the original model here, you got the black barrel, right? Well, on the real 1911 here, let's make sure that we don't have a loading gun. Should always do that first. They got the black barrel. It has a newer dovetail. It has the old vertical serrations at back here. You can also see the triggers, that small trigger, just like on the original model, 1911 government. It has the original GI safety. Some people complain about it, but I like it because it's a hint back to the original government model 1911. And again, this is the real one. So you see how small, there's no play in that trigger. It's got the Novak sights on it. If you look at the original, it just has the the very standard. And another thing you'll see is that here there's checkering on the front of the front plate of the handle there, which is really nice when you hold it. It really grabs your hand. Where the original one, of course, didn't have the checkering because they just didn't have the kind of technology to do that well back then. And then even on the Kimber and on a lot of the mid-range 1911s, you don't have that checkering. Although the Kimber does have it on the back, which is kind of nice. This has just the vertical on the back. Another thing you'll see with this, the limited edition 1911 from Colt, and it came out about 3 months ago, which puts it at about June or July of 2023. And see this trigger thing, this indent right here, where you put your hand under there? Well, most 1911s don't have that, and this has that nice little feature. So it's these little subtleties, and I'll show you what I mean. So if I hold this upside down, see, kind of comes up like that, or indents right there. This kind of just goes straight across, and on the original also goes straight across. But on the newer one, it's just these little subtleties like that where you got the indent. It just makes it just more ergonomical to hold that, you know. What else we have on here? So the front checkering here, which we talked about. We have the little copper bead up in the front. So a lot of these are, so on the original, it's just a standard fin up there. But on the Kimber, you can see it's got the 2 dots in the back, the single dot in the front. They're painted. With the Novak, or the front sight here, it's an actual brass bead in there on that front there. So, you know, it's a nice little Colt. Definitely has a lot of the characteristics of the original government model, with a couple of the modern upgrades to make it a nice little shooter and also a collectible. And you know, the story, if it is true that there was 5,000 slides found and they made this because of that, then that just adds even more to it. But I'm happy with the way it looks. I'll be looking forward to taking it out into the desert and putting a couple of rounds through it. I'm going to bring it out and compare it to the Kimber. And this is a Kimber Custom 2, by the way, in case you were wondering what model this is. So today, I guess you could say, is our 1911 day. And by the way, this replica is really cool. I mean, it has the same feel, the same way, everything as the real ones. So anyway, so that's the new Colt 1911 limited edition, model number 01911 SE-A1.